Hey, welcome to Sisters Unfiltered. We are so glad you're here today with us.
Looks a little different.
At the kitchen counter, at Ashley's kitchen counter today.
Yes, we have reason for that. We are actually going through a little snowstorm.
That's not so, that's
ice, whatever. Yeah. We're like kind of iced in, and so today, because the kids are home from school, we decided to send the kids to Lindsey's house, and we did the podcast here because it's a little bit quieter.
Yes. Yeah, we just took advantage of the fact that Ashley can't go into work anyways, and the kids are home, so we were like, we might as well just go ahead and do this instead. Well, especially since everything has moved.
It's kind of shifted.
I feel like your time, like all your meetings and everything will shift towards the end of the week, which is normally when we record.
Yeah.
So it's just easier to take advantage. Plus, also, we're a little stir crazy.
Yeah. Here's the deal. Well, before we get started, we would love for you to share, like, comment, tell people about our podcast, Sisters Unfiltered, and it's been fun being back. This is our third one, I think, 3 weeks in a row, and it's been fun.
It has. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah. So we had this whole ice, which I think like 18 states have been affected by it, maybe.
Yeah, a lot.
And so Saturday, they kind of were warning us of it. I got out on Saturday because I knew. I was like, because they canceled church on Sunday and started just canceling things because of the ice. And just so you know, if you're not from the South, which I think most of our listeners are, we don't know how to drive on ice or snow.
Well, no, we don't know how to treat our streets for ice. Yeah. And so it's like, or we don't even have snow plows or anything like that here.
Yeah.
And so we did drive past somebody, a truck putting out sand or whatever, or salt. I don't know what that is. That shows you anything.
That's right.
That we don't even know. Yeah, we don't. And
growing up, just so you know, my parents weather never stopped us from doing anything.
No.
Like we have been, we grew up with tornadoes.
Yes.
My parents never actually even scared of
We never got in the basement. The only time I remember ever getting in the basement for a tornado was at a friend's house. And I remember calling my parents on their house phone.
Yeah.
Pick it up.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm so annoyed. They're making me sit in the basement right now.
Yeah.
Because we didn't react to that. Like we would go out.
They were probably like, Lindsey, you need to call your parents. You were like, I do.
Oh, for sure. I was so annoyed. And like at our house, we would go out on the front porch and look for the funnel clouds.
Yeah.
Like it's not that we didn't take it seriously if we needed to, but we just never did.
Yeah. We definitely weren't like scared of it.
We weren't scared.
And so like I remember we drove to Nashville when it was snowing. Because we had reservations at the Opryland Hotel. We weren't going to miss, I guess.
We didn't.
And we drove there as a family. But my parents, like, it would snow, and my dad would just take out one of their cars, and we would all go, like, riding around.
Like, when I remember when it snowed one time. We lived in Greystone, which was in Birmingham, if any of you Birmingham listeners. And then my dad went and got my friend, shout out Ashley Strong, from her house in Hoover, 30 minutes away. And I thought it was the best thing ever. I rode with them in a 4-wheel drive, and we just, like brought her back to our house.
Also, I was thinking, like, Jeremy and I were laughing because we're like, okay, we've driven through a hurricane, or he did with my kids one time, because I was in Nashville and he drove to Birmingham. Literally, it was like he was like running from the hurricane. The hurricane was behind him, like he was just like driving with my little kids. In that we boarded up for a hurricane. We've driven through a flood.
A really bad flood.
That
was really bad, guys. It was like, I have the videos, and if you saw the video, it looked like we were driving through a lake.
Yes.
Literally.
Like RVs were going past in the water. It was
floating. Crazy. It was bad.
That's probably for another day. There's a story for another day. Through a blizzard, a legit blizzard.
Oh, in Colorado? Yes. Yeah. That was crazy. Like icing over, people sliding off the roads as we're driving. I don't know, why is it that we always are supposed to leave at the moments that it's like our vacation's in, and for whatever reason we're always supposed to leave.
And all of these, except what we were talking about when we were little, have been at the end of vacations.
They have, so you don't have a place to go.
The blizzard.
Yes.
The blizzard was like someone got a snow globe and shook it up. Like that's how
I've never
much it was.
It was like snowflakes are all in your eyes. Like you can't see. This is why you wear goggles on the mountain.
Yeah, well, it's not just that. It was beautiful, hot, like you're sweating, like you're
water is like dripping off the mountain.
Yes, and then someone said, "Hey, there's a snowstorm coming later on, or bad weather." And we're like, "What?" I mean, it was gorgeous.
Yeah,
we're skiing. By the time it was time to come down the mountain, it was like the snow globe. You couldn't see a thing.
You could not see. It was unbelievable.
And we were leaving that day too, so we were just trying to get half a day of skiing in. So we come off the mountain. Derek couldn't find his skis, but you also couldn't see anything.
No, you can't see anything. Like you could not see anything.
Like he put them in one of the racks. And it was crazy. So we get in all of our cars to leave and go. You had to get off the mountain. So, but literally, cars were sliding. Yeah. Jeremy was like gripping the steering wheel so hard.
And you cannot slide off a mountain in Colorado.
You can't. I mean, there were cars that literally were stopped.
Because we were leaving not to go back to our place. We had already packed up our cars. We didn't rent the place for another night. Yeah. It wasn't like we could like up it. And literally we were going up the mountain. Yeah. And it was just sliding off. Terrible. It was very stressful. Yes. I don't know why we always tend to be.
And then there was some snowmageddon here. Like, what year was that? I don't even remember.
You were still at Bellagio House.
Yeah.
So it had to been like 5 years
Blake
ago.
was probably a junior or senior in high school because we were doing college visits. So we decided.
So it was after COVID.
Yeah. Oh.
Right?
Oh, yeah. It was
2021 then, probably.
Yeah, it was for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were doing college visits. So we had left.
Mom was still alive.
Yeah.
So it had to have been before she passed away.
2021.
2021. Yeah.
So we had left to do college visits, and it was my family plus Eden was with us, my daughter-in-law now, but she went with us on these college visits with Blake. We went to Lee, went to Highlands College, and the snow happened while we were away.
Here.
We had to rent like 3 more nights in a hotel, I think. Like than we were originally going to because we could not get back home.
And we were renovating our house, so we didn't have a kitchen. And so we went to Ashley and Jeremy's house with our kids and our dog.
Yes.
And stayed there because we were like, if anything happens, we have literal no kitchen and a microwave. Like that's it. And so we were like, oh my gosh, like we have no way.
But it was really, really bad.
No, it was a ton of snow.
Yes.
Tons of ice.
No one was expecting it. It was terrible.
It was really bad. People were out of power.
Yes.
And it was days.
Yeah. So we had Eden with us, and of course we're like, we have to get Eden home because we just felt bad. And we drove home, and it literally, we took all these back roads, all this stuff. We were sliding. Yeah. I don't think our kids even paid one bit of attention, but it was very, very stressful. It took us so much longer than normal. There was nothing open, hardly to stop, maybe gas stations.
And you drive through Dallas, and Dallas gets the worst weather like that, like ice and
if we would have gotten trapped in some of these like small towns, like in Louisiana or on the side of the road, it would have been terrible.
It would have, you might as well die.
Yeah, it would almost made you be like, why did we drive home? Because, but it was honestly like we had spent 3 extra days.
Yeah.
Because the snow was not going away.
Yeah. It's just weird because Austin doesn't have a lot of snow and ice, but it's just strange that when it does, it's just crazy. So we
didn't have church yesterday. We didn't have school today. We might not tomorrow.
I kind of think school will be canceled for sure, delayed.
Yeah.
Maybe canceled only because the spots that are shaded are still iced over.
Yeah.
So like we have a courtyard at our house, and literally my girls were ice skating on it today. I mean, not actual ice skates, but they were skating. You could. Yeah. If you had ice skates, you could ice skate in our courtyard because that was at 1:00 today.
Yeah. So we get super antsy, my whole family, about just sitting at home and being trapped. And so Jeremy and Ellen and I went on a walk yesterday. We were sliding all over the place. Honestly, I think I burned more calories just like tightening my core, trying to stay up on my 2 feet. Today I went again, and it was like warmer outside, but still there were so many patchy areas. I totally fell one time. Jeremy went too. We didn't go together, and he fell. I'm sure the person's house I was in front of that I fell, they were watching. They got a good laugh. I didn't get hurt, thank goodness. No. But I was like, I have to get out of the house. Like, I have to do something. Lindsey's been driving around.
We did. We drove around yesterday. Well, first of all, I am not driving around. I get Derek to. But I get really antsy. And I'm like, I can't be in the house anymore. So we went to H-E-B, our favorite grocery store, which was open. Yes, of course, shout out H-E-B. Yes. You are amazing. We went to our friend's house, and we went to Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
And had so much fun. But
at night,
at night we don't get out. Yeah. And then today we got out, and it was actually worse where we went. It was way worse. But it's weird because there's some melted spots, but it was worse. Like we literally, like I was praying. I was like, Jesus.
That's when you really know.
Because the back of our car, and I have a Sequoia, and so it's a really good, like the tires are really good heavy, for it. It's heavy, as 4-wheel drive. But the back of our car was just, and Derek was like, I cannot put on the brakes. So you put on the brakes and ice, it makes it worse.
Yeah.
So he's like, and there's a car in front of us. So we were like,
would be so nervous.
My God.
I would be
sweating. Jesus. Oh, Derek's like, I just need to get to this one patch. But, that's our fault for getting out. But whatever.
We haven't gotten out besides like our little walks, but we might in a little bit. Well, we're going to, because I'll take you home.
And Jeremy went to the office.
Oh yeah, Jeremy went to the office, got his computer. But honestly, like I have a book to read. I've watched shows. I've watched a movie.
Yeah.
I've worked. I've had work to do. I've done all these things, and I still have so much time.
I know. I'm so like tired of.
We have plenty of food. Like we don't need any of that. I'm so thankful. It's like I did wake up at like 3:30 in the morning night before last, and I thought, Lord, thank you so much for heat. Thank you that I have a home. Thank you that everybody in my family, is good. And I really am thankful. So I don't want to complain about that. But honestly, I also thought too. Actually, do not complain if you're busy. If you get busy, don't complain. I'm busy. Think about this.
We don't like the extremes.
I know, but why does it feel like you live in the extremes? You don't want to be
so busy, but you also don't want to be so bored where you're just sitting at home all the time. Yeah. I don't know.
Anyway, so we're like, you know what?
We're going to record a podcast because why not?
Let's do it. So what are we talking about today?
Okay, so today we're going to talk about something a little more fun-ish.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about things that we have changed our minds on. That can be personal things, that can be parenting things, that can be things that, in our lifetime, have you said you're going to do one thing and then you change your mind on it.
Yes. And my mind always goes more to parenting.
Yeah.
Because I think you think you know everything before you start that journey. But there's some other things too, for sure. You know? Lindsey and I think our number ones might be the same.
Yeah.
Our number one thing we changed our mind.
Our number one thing we changed our mind.
I don't know if we want to start with that or end with that.
Yeah.
But
we can start with it. But.
So we just thought that would be fun to kind of just talk about the things that you do. I don't know. I feel like the older you get, obviously you have more experience, more life. There are things that you are like, I'm never going to do that. And you do it. And then you're like, dang it. And then there's things you're like, I'm never going to do that. And you stick with. I did think about a lot of those today when I was thinking about this podcast and yesterday. And then there are things that you're like, I stuck with, but I actually think that maybe we could have done it and it would have been fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, for sure. And I also think that you have these like times where you think like, you live and you learn.
Yeah.
When you start changing your mind, then from then on, when you try to be like downright, you're like, but guess what? I'm going to say this.
You used to say, I will never. And now you're like, you know what? My goal is. I might. You never know.
Yeah. I hope I don't change my mind on this, but maybe, it changes later because you just learn that like, you just can't say never. Yeah. Like you just have to be careful.
And they're not necessarily like right and wrong things.
Oh, no. They're just they're not like sins versus not sins. Not gray areas of living your life however you want to live it. There are other things. Yeah.
So the first one I can remember as like an adult, probably teenager, young adult, was that I said I would never marry a pastor.
Oh, wow.
That's kind of
those are the kind of things that you don't say because then you will.
100%.
I will never be a missionary. Don't ever say that because then you're going to be called to Africa or wherever.
I feel like God's like, he.
Oh,
like when
for
you
sure.
say stuff like that, you know?
Sure.
But I remember being like, I know I'm going to the university, but no way, no how am I marrying a pastor. Well, I'm sorry, there are a million pastors there.
That was a bad university to go to.
I know. What are the odds, that you're not going to do that? And I definitely married a pastor. He's not a pastor anymore. But
you definitely changed your mind.
Once a pastor, always a pastor.
No, that's true for Jeremy for sure.
Yeah. And I don't even know why I actually thought that.
I know.
I didn't have any bad taste in my mouth about a pastor, but I think people actually, and this is probably true, assume if you go to a Christian university like that like, oh, you're going to marry
that's
a
your
pastor.
goal too.
Or
you
that's
want
your goal.
To be a pastor's
right?
wife.
Like you just want to get your MRS degree. Which did that happen?
Yes. Yes.
Is that the only reason I went there? No. But
is that the only thing you got out of it?
Yes. Did I ever use my real degree? No. But I will say that I remember specifically saying, I'm going to go there, but I'm never going to marry a pastor.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. And mom would always be scared. You're going to go marry a pastor, move to California. She always say California. Oh. But I did move far away anyway.
That's been interesting state.
Yeah. I know.
Of all the places. Is it because
I think she must have felt the farthest.
Yeah. I'm like, it's because it's the furthest? I'm like, what?
I know. Well, we did move far for 9 years. So, she kind of spoke it into existence.
Right, it's her fault.
Yeah. Well, can you remember?
I do remember I said, this is funny when you said that, it sparked this in me. I said 3 weeks before the Lord told us we were going to adopt, I said, I will never adopt.
You were you were like that because you're like, I saw y'all's journey.
And it was just hard. And
Yeah.
I know
you were always very like compassionate towards it.
Yeah.
You were like, that's not for me.
I never felt called to it, first of all, ever. I never even thought about it or did it cross my mind until Ashley and Jeremy decided to adopt. And even then, I didn't think I was called to adopt. And I remember having lunch with Mom and saying, we will always support people who adopt. We will give financially. We'll do whatever. But I will never. I'm so glad, my exact words, I'm so glad God has not called us to adopt.
Yeah. And he's like,
And 3 weeks later, God was like, you have a little girl in China. And I was like, well, we're adopted.
Yeah. Yes.
So that was a big one. I forgot. And so, it was nothing negative about adoption. It was just, I had not felt at all like that's what we were going to do. And I was like, that's just not our calling.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why you can't say those things.
Yeah, it's true. I know this is kind of similar, but not. Jeremy, when we first met, he was like, I'm going to plant a church in Austin, Texas one day. And I never said never, but I remember very much just like, whatever. Like, like kind of like brushing it off.
Yeah.
You know, like, no, that's
just a dream.
not going to happen.
Yeah.
Sure did.
Feels like Jeremy's on the right path of everything that he has said.
I think he said no about adoption, though. He was like, no, we want
he did.
And that changed.
Yeah.
God's really spoke to him, too.
Yeah.
So those are kind of big ones. I don't know.
Those are deep ones.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
And I don't say never anymore.
No, I don't either.
Yeah, I'm real careful about it.
No, I am too. Also, even if it's something you truly don't ever want to do, you never know.
Try not to say never.
You never know.
I know.
I don't know if I ever said this, but we were brought up on the facts that tattoos were not something you did to your body. And
I actually don't ever remember Mom and Dad ever having a conversation about tattoos. It just wasn't
it's just
on
like
my
something
radar.
we knew. Maybe it was just because it was Southern, or like we were in the South, or what. It was just like something
Or like
you just
if
didn't
people got
do.
tattoos, it represented something so opposite of
Bad.
what our values were.
Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't know anybody with tattoos, anyways. First of all, and if I did, they were
either.
bad.
I don't think I knew anyone.
Anybody,
Maybe
you would
they've
be
been
like,
in prison.
Yeah, exactly. You were like, of course they have tattoos. They're in prison.
They're bad news.
They're bad people.
Yeah.
Stay away from the bad boy.
Like we were born in the 1950s.
What?
Okay.
I bet you some of our cousins had tattoos.
Yeah. I don't remember, honestly,
Me
like
either.
thinking about people. I mean, I don't
I don't
feel like
remember
I
even
knew.
seeing them.
No. Probably because we were like in Birmingham,
I feel like
Alabama.
big smokers had tattoos.
Yeah, I think I only saw them on TV.
Me too.
Yeah.
I don't even remember ever laying my eyes
No,
on a
me
tattoo, but I just always thought they were bad.
Yeah.
I don't know what I thought, but anyways, and I have all these tattoos now. I mean, I don't have a lot, but
Yeah.
I do, and I love them, and I regret them at all. So,
Yeah.
but I also waited until, I will say this for all you young people, I waited until I was like 36. I had, family. I kind of knew what I wanted, and I don't think we've talked about this before, but I always would say, if I am not okay walking, well, not down my kid down the aisle, but being the mother of the bride at a wedding with that tattoo on my body, then I don't need to get that. And so I've pretty much all my tattoos you can cover up.
Yeah.
And I did that on purpose. So.
And now it's just so common.
It's so common.
Yes.
I know so many people who have tattoos, and I don't think anything
Actually,
of it.
almost feel kind of like the odd person out because I don't have
Yeah, most people do. So, anyways, the tattoo thing was a real thing. I know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe it's like everybody like your age also thought the same thing when they were younger, and then they feel liberated from it. And so they're getting tattoos. And we live in Austin. There's a lot of people that have tattoos.
Yeah, it's definitely edgier. And that is true. I mean, like, I wonder how many people in Alabama have tattoos.
I don't know. Probably more than, I didn't know one person.
Well, definitely more than what
Back
we
in the
knew.
day.
But, anyways, it's just interesting. So,
I did think about this too. I was like, and again, this is probably not like I never said this, but like I was set in my ways about, this is so silly. This is not tattoos or marrying someone or adoption. But like I just told you this a minute ago. Like if someone would have said back in the day, like, you won't wash your hair for 5 days, I would have been like, you're crazy. I wash my hair every day.
I will. For
every
sure.
day. My mom told
I'm
me
not
that.
going to have greasy hair.
Yeah, I'm not going to wait. I mean, but now I have hair washing days in there like every 4 or 5
Nothing
days.
says you're over the age of 40 like having hair washing days.
That too. I'm like Wednesdays and Saturdays. Saturdays before church. Gotta have that good hair on church days.
That's true, actually.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd go longer if I could, but I just can't. You know?
What are some parenting things that we have changed?
yeah,
It's
that's a
so
big
hard because it's like, I know like the obvious ones, but I'm like trying to think of like little ones that like,
I literally have been thinking about this since yesterday because I knew we were doing this podcast. We had talked about it a while ago, and then I knew we were coming back to it. I literally was like, I'm so proud of myself because I feel like so many things I said I was going to do, I did. And so many things I said I wasn't going to do, I didn't do.
So in other words, we have not changed our mind that much.
No, I really have, though. It's just like kind of hard to think about.
No, it is. No, I will say this, okay? Growing up with a mom like our mom and dad like our dad, I say obviously because of our podcast, if you've listened to it, we grew up with parents who, for whatever reason, me, Ashley, and Wade, like, we're pretty confident in what we think.
Yeah.
And it's not that we're right all the time, and we're okay to be wrong, but it's that there's not a lot of swaying us, like, kind of with some things.
Yeah.
And then if we say we're going to do it, most likely we're going to do it, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, obviously there's things that we have changed our mind on, like, you know, in the moment, like with a kid. Like, I remember growing up, and our mom and dad would be like, y'all are getting spankings when y'all get home because when we took y'all to dinner at the restaurant, y'all were so bad. They didn't say we're bad, but whatever. We had Sunday night spankings because my parents took us to dinner every single Sunday night at a restaurant, and they expected us to be so good.
This was like after church.
After church.
So late.
We were
with our
so
best friends.
Good at church. And then they expected us to be so good at the restaurant, and we were always so bad.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if we were bad, but we got Sunday night spankings. I don't know. Y'all can say what you want about us, but it was real.
Yeah, it happened.
It happened. And so anyways.
And we're here to talk about it.
We're here to talk about the trauma.
Yes.
I'm just kidding. We did not have trauma from that. Okay, but the point is, I remember sometimes we would be on the way home, and we were like, if we're really good, and we don't take
maybe they'll forget.
They're going to forget about it. And then very rarely did they forget, and I put quotes around that because now as a parent, I don't ever forget when I say I'm going to punish one of my kids. If I choose not to do it, they might think I forgot.
Right, I did not forget.
But so that kind of stuff you change your mind on sometimes, right? Like you're like, you know what, I said I'm going to do this.
Yes, I'm actually bad about that. Like in the moment, if I get upset or mad,
given a threat that you don't. The one parenting tip we give to everybody, we don't stick with. We're like, be consistent, do what you say.
So they get a consequence, but I almost never make it as long as I originally say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Almost every time. Especially with Ella, it's worse.
Because she's your youngest, and she is like, it's almost like you guys are in between parenting and grandparenting.
I know. I'm like, exactly. We're about to be. We're about to have a grandbaby.
You're like grandparenting Ella.
I know. I'm like, I don't know how to be. I need to practice my grandparenting. No, I mean, like, they do get consequences when we say, but literally, it is a shorter lifespan than what I think.
You are the laid back parent though too.
Yeah, for sure.
So that is one reason why. Because if Derek was the parent that did that, my kids would definitely have had
But
shorter.
you don't do less with Abby Kate than you do with your other kids?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. I do.
Yeah. So that's a natural thing that I think you could go into parenting saying like, oh, I'm not going to treat my youngest different.
But you do.
You most certainly.
You most certainly do. And to be honest, I went ahead and just laid it out there for Anne Marie because for a little bit there, Anne Marie would get frustrated. I'm not obviously treating Abby Kate different. It's just like there's things like Abby Kate got a cell phone before the age that the other kids got one, and Anne Marie was upset about it, which is absolutely ridiculous. And I finally just looked at her and I was like, I'm just going to go tell you something right now. She's the youngest, and the chance of her getting things earlier than what all of you got things at is very high. Yeah. And the same thing happened with me when I was young.
Yeah.
Like my mom and dad were like adamantly against TVs in rooms.
Oh, yeah, we never.
I got a TV in my room.
I didn't even know that.
Yes, I did.
That's so rude. We never had a TV in our room.
And I got a TV in our room.
Don't have TVs in our rooms ever. I've never had one.
No, I've definitely stuck to my kids don't have TVs in the rooms.
Yeah.
But one thing is cell phones in your rooms. I've stuck to it to an age.
Right. So let's talk about I think our number one is cell phones.
Yeah, I've heard so many young parents be like, I am definitely 100% not giving my kid a cell phone. For sure.
We did the same thing.
For sure. And I just look at them and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll say something back, but normally I'm just like, okay,
yeah,
well.
It's definitely the one that I was like, my kid's not going to have a cell phone until I'm might have said high school.
I said high school.
I know at least probably 16.
Yeah.
That I was like, they're not gonna have a cell phone. They're not gonna have a cell phone.
Yeah.
Whatever. So cell phones are interesting. Okay, so it's like, no, they're not gonna have a cell phone. Then it's like, for sure they're not getting social media, and then the age gets younger and younger,
Yeah.
and then whatever, the social media. It's different, and it's so different. Like with every kid,
Yeah,
I will
it is.
say personalities. This is one that I said my kids were gonna have certain phones, and we were like, they got them younger, and I sort of regret, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Tyler was ready when he got a cell phone, even though he got it the latest of anyone else.
What does that say about Tyler? You're like, Tyler, you got your phone later than anybody else, and you still did a bad job.
And then, like, social media is hard because Jeremy and I really feel like, we want to guide them through social media when they're home, under our roof, instead of waiting for them to, like, leave home and then having social media and then maybe going crazy. I don't really know what the right answer is, to be honest. I just know with cell phones, it's kind of been a constant movement of age, when, all that kind of stuff. But, like, we didn't have to worry about screen time when our kids were younger. Like, that's a big one that people are like, oh, my kids aren't gonna have any screen time. We really didn't. Like, as far as like TVs, watching TV, watching iPads and stuff. I don't know. I don't really remember.
I've just never been like on this like whole screen journey.
Yeah.
Like none of that has bothered me. I don't
Some
care
of my
if-
kids were so
I
active.
don't-
I wish they would sit in front of a screen.
Me too. I don't care if my kids watch TV. I'm like, please, God, go watch TV. Like, please, I will put any movie on that you want to watch that is appropriate. I am so done. So maybe it's because we have so many kids. I never felt like my kids just sat in front of a screen.
Yeah.
Let me tell you the age when kids sit in front of a screen. Middle school.
Yeah.
The tween years.
Right. Like they're not social yet.
Yeah, they're not old enough to be social, but they're really they're beyond the age of being little kiddish and playing with toys.
Yeah.
That's when you really have to monitor that stuff more.
It does help too, though, if you don't have TVs in their rooms and stuff.
Well, that's what we talked about this. Like, people make their kids' rooms like another living room, and I'm like, no, we don't do that. Kids, my kids are even like Abby Kate had a conversation the other day. She got an iPad for Christmas. She watches shows on it. That's fine with us. We have filters. We have everything on it. But I'm like, you can't just take that upstairs and watch a show in your room. And she's like, well, why? I'm like, because I want you downstairs. Like, I don't care if you want to do it like in the living room or in my room. That's fine. Mm-hmm. But you're not going to do that upstairs. Yeah. And it's not because I don't trust her. It's because I don't want my kids starting to create their rooms as like the only place they're at.
I agree.
And then it's separate from the family. Yeah. We've had a whole episode on this, I feel like. But the cell phones was a big one for me. I was pretty adamant about not having cell phones until high school. And honestly, I've not encouraged, it's not the right word, but when other parents have brought it up to me, I'm like, here's the deal with cell phones, and we've talked about this too, is to me, cell phones are for, like, I liked when my kids got cell phones because of the access to them. Yeah. And it was middle school. The convenience of it. And it was middle school. Yeah. And we have filters. My boys didn't have Safari on their phones for a long time. When they got Safari, they have Covenant Eyes still. And so you have that, and then you've got the girls who didn't have, for sure, I have been okay with cell phones. There are times where I am like, oh my gosh, did we give a cell phone too early? Because you don't just parent, like, you're not just watching what they're seeing. How are they texting? What are they saying? They're so immature. When you get them a cell phone in middle school, you're like, this is why middle school shouldn't have cell phones.
They don't know how to filter it.
Stupid. Yeah. But then there's other things that I love being able to have access to them, or like talk to them, or they can text me. I don't know. I
think Tyler, when he got his cell phone, was a freshman or eighth grade, end of eighth grade, whatever. February was his birthday. I think it was around then. Ella got hers in sixth grade.
Yeah. Yes.
You know what I mean?
Well, Abby Kate got hers earlier than sixth grade. She got hers like at the end of fifth grade or the summer before, because she had an iPod and it died.
Oh, yeah.
And we were like, we're not buying her another iPod.
Right.
We know we're going to get her a cell phone in sixth grade because we got the other kids one. And this is stupid. The price of an iPod is about the price of a
I get it.
Cell
I get it.
phone,
I'm
I
just
was
saying,
like-
like, that was something if you would have asked me again, I would have been like, I'm not budging on
No.
this. I don't care for the only people that
You know-
I know. I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of having to ask your friends where you are.
Yes. I'm tired of having to email you at your school address while you're in school. Oh my gosh. But I will say, we have stuck to the social media thing for the most, like, my kids had like B-Reel.
Yeah.
When they're younger. I've been pretty happy with how we've done social media so far. I'm
Yeah.
praying it sticks. We waited till 15 for any of my kids to get
Yeah.
Instagram. And that's all they have.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. I do think there's individual kids. I literally just had this conversation with Ava May yesterday because she was like, do you think our friends will be able to get Instagram at 15 like us? And I said, I don't know, but don't just think you're going to get Instagram at 15. And she's like, I know, y'all have to trust us. I'm like, yes. So I do a lot of those conversations, which I'm sure you did too.
Yeah.
You don't get things unless we trust you. I don't care if your brother or sister got it this time.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that to Ava May. I said that about her and Abby Kate.
Yeah.
Like, we have to trust you. And I do love with Instagram, they now have the teen accounts and it's linked to mine.
Yeah.
So Micah's and Anne Marie accounts are linked to mine. So
That's
I
how a
can
lot of
go-
social media is now.
But it used to not be that way because when Parker got it, we didn't. I
Yeah.
don't think we had that option.
I didn't have, not until Ella did I know that you had this. Like, I can look at her history she's viewed. I can see her comments.
Yeah.
I can see if somebody's commented on her.
Yes.
Like, I can see all that, which is so helpful as a parent.
It is so helpful. And Instagram has where you can, and with yours actually too, and theirs, you can do the content, like the ratings, like, and how, like, what they can see and what they blur out and messages. Instagram is doing a really good job with, I feel like that kind of stuff is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then I can see who they're messaging with.
Right.
Private messaging with.
Yeah.
And so I don't look at that very often.
Yeah.
But
you kind of want them to know that you can see it. Yeah.
Yes, I have.
Holds them accountable.
It does. I have that ability.
Yeah.
And so that's been kind of nice. But anyways, cell phones was a huge one.
Yeah, that's probably number one for me. As far as like changing my mind drastically on being with all that. Another one I was thinking was, I always was like, I will not make another meal for my kid that's picky. Okay, so this one is kind of a halfway change my mind. Not completely. So Grayson was my pickiest eater for sure. And we kind of got to the point where I didn't make another meal. He had a choice. He could eat what we made, or he could go make himself a sandwich or a bowl of cereal. I think those were the two things. And so I didn't make it. I made him make it because he was so picky. But I think if you would have done Tyler or Blake or Sam, I probably would have been like, no way, Jose, you have to eat what I made. You know what I mean? So I didn't make like 7 different meals, but I was like, okay, if you don't want to eat that, then you can make yourself peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Yeah, for sure. That's a hard one because like you get really torn down as a mom real easily when you're like at 5 o'clock, you're making dinner, you have little kids. But then what happens when you're doing that is then you start realizing no one wants what I have.
Yeah.
And everyone's crying about it. And because I gave this one and let her the other night change what she was eating, now this one wants it. And it's really hard. I remember, I don't know when, at some point I started cracking down on that.
Yeah.
I think you told me, like, okay, if you make a salad, be like, you don't have to eat the salad, but you need to eat something from the salad.
And those are the things we would do up until a point.
And I never was like, again, like, I wasn't making all this food I knew my kids wouldn't like.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful with that too.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't do that. But yeah, I agree with that.
I don't really know how you raise kids the same exact way and have a picky one and not. Like, how do they have different taste buds?
I don't know. And to me, some of that's not worth the battle, but some of it is because then it becomes a money pit situation.
Or like a catering thing. Like, am I going to cater to my kid or everything?
Yeah.
So that one to me is like a kind of halfway.
I know one. I would never let my kids sleep in our room.
Oh yeah.
And I have.
But not very much, huh?
Not very much, but I went through a phase with Micah when he was like 4 or 5 where he was coming in our room every night. Now, sleeping in my bed is like a pretty much no-go. I mean, we've let kids sleep in our bed who were sick, but then I have a couch, by the way, all you mamas out there, having a couch in your room
really is like the best
It
thing.
is golden.
Yes, it is.
And let me tell you why, because
you know what, we've never talked about this. But that is so true.
It is a trick of the trade. It is literally, can I just please give you guys advice? 1, don't buy a diaper pail.
No, diaper genie.
Diaper genie. Is it not called a diaper pail?
Oh, maybe. I don't
diaper
know.
pail, diaper genie. 2, Ziplocs, by the way.
Sun is so
I know.
bright.
I'm sorry. I don't know
It's
what
okay.
to do.
Come on. No, I'm gonna put my sunglasses on.
Oh my God. 2, because you can use Ziplocs for dirty diapers and they don't smell. 2, Get a couch in your room. I do not care how big your room is. You can do a little couch.
Oh, yeah,
in
we
there.
had a couch in our room, like in different
and the
size rooms and everything.
And the reason why that is like such a good idea is because when your kids are sick, they can sleep on the couch. They don't have to sleep in your bed.
Yeah.
And you can tend to them and you can cover it with sheets, whatever it is, if they're puking, but they don't sleep in your bed.
Yeah.
It is the best advice I can give you.
I probably would have been softer in that. Jeremy was such a stickler about the kids sleeping in our bed.
Yeah,
we had a couch.
For sure Derek wouldn't have cared, and I was such a stickler.
Yeah.
No, Derek did care a little bit more, actually.
And we definitely wouldn't let them get in a habit of it.
No, but Micah had a habit where he was coming to our room, not sleeping in our bed, but he was sleeping on the floor.
Yeah.
And then I started making him a pallet on the floor, which is very against my, I don't know what was going on there. And then again, I'm really psycho about.
You probably didn't want to deal with it.
I was exhausted, and I was like, "What does it matter?
Yeah,
whatever." And then when I started noticing it was like becoming a legit habit, I was like, we can't do this anymore."
Yeah.
So I Googled it and found a plan, and then Derek did the plan, and it worked. And I'm so grateful, and I prayed a lot because he was really hard to break of this, but it worked, and we got him out of our room. But I've never had kids in my room consistently, and so even when they were babies, because our babies didn't sleep in our room.
Yeah.
Even as newborns.
Yeah.
Also, that's something that no one agrees with, but I don't care.
Yeah.
My life was a lot better, and I slept a lot better than you do because my newborns did not sleep in my room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, that's one that I changed my mind on for a split second.
That happens
And then
too.
I went back.
Yeah,
but then I went
happens
back.
Too. Yeah, that happens too.
Yeah.
Another one was for us was like we were definitely like our kids are not going to date till they're 16.
Yes.
No dating till they were 16, and then Sam met Eden. And I've told that story before,
Yes.
but
They're so
I
interesting.
know, but it still kind of blew up my whole plan for the ones that came after to be like, you can't date till you're 16. And I even would tell them, sorry, I know that Sam and Eden are just an exception to the
No,
rule
I agree with that.
because they didn't live in the same city.
You're like,
Oh, I know.
What?
It's so bright.
It's like,
I literally have my sunglasses on. They didn't live in the same city. We were family friends, but they literally, I mean, like Sam was 14 when they started dating.
Yeah, but it was
now they never like went on dates.
But that's the difference. It was so different because they didn't really date because they talked on the phone.
It's true. I get it. But I'm just saying there were that is something that I was like, no way.
But guess what? I agree with you. There are times where it might work for one kid, but it does not mean it works for all the kids. Yes, there are times where you're saying across the board, I'm not doing this, but then there are times where it's unique. Micah, same thing. We're like, you're not dating till you're 16. Parker, fine, didn't ever push that. Micah, like his girlfriend that he has now for a year before they were 16. She turned 16 in like October, I think it is. Micah didn't turn 16 in January. He asked me if we would let him take her out on a date that first.
Yes.
Before he was 16.
Yeah.
We said yes. And the reason for that was they had honored, for the most part, that we knew of. They really honored the fact that us and Jovi's parents didn't want them to date until they were 16. I know, it's okay. So anyway, so they honored that. And I just felt like, to me, that was something that I felt like it was only right of us. Not right, but it was an easy yes.
Yeah.
It was like, you know what? Y'all have honored us and not pushed us on this topic. And we're going to say yes because you do deserve some reward for that.
Yeah. I mean, I think you have to think about your yeses and nos.
That's
too.
right.
Like,
And
what are the things you really want to stick with saying no to, and other stuff you can say yes
And
to.
I'm not going to be a hard no just for 3 more months.
Yeah.
That just feels
situational.
Like it's situational.
Yeah, but I do think you can go into things, and I think that's the hardest thing is like you can make blanket. And it was some things you need to do. You need to have that pre-conversation.
Yeah.
That we've determined this.
Yeah.
Because I think if you don't do that, then you're almost open to just like almost anything, you know? I mean, half my face is in the sun. Okay, so anything else with parenting that you can think of?
I'm sure there's things that
yeah.
I feel like we're going to leave here and I'm going to be like, oh yeah, I remember that like one time.
Yeah.
Like,
what about like getting the girls' ears pierced? Did you ever fall hard on that one? My mom didn't let us till we were like 12.
And so, but I was like, I don't
think
know.
it's
I was
the
like,
cutest thing ever.
I think when the babies
have pierced ears.
Why was mom so against us getting our ears pierced?
I don't
12.
know.
I mean, what are we?
I don't know.
Amish?
Yeah, what was her reasoning? I think she was like,
She
look like
said,
Jezebel.
No, seriously. Again, it was kind of like the tattoos. Ashley, if you're not watching on YouTube, Ashley, the sun is shining bright as Ashley's face.
In my face. So I'm just gonna, hey, I missed. I'll talk to y'all later in the camera. Okay.
You want me to move?
No, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I kind of decided 5 years old was the time, and I waited with all my girls.
Yeah.
And then I went crazy and bought an ear piercing gun, and now I've done so many people's, and even like, and when Amory got her what is that called right there? I don't remember.
Like the
cartilage pierced
kind of
in New York City. Somebody was like, you should never use a gun to do it. And I was like, Mom's the word. I would never use a gun for cartilage.
Right.
I would never do a cartilage. But I'm saying like, they were like, you should never use a gun, period. And I was like, okay, it saved me $400.
Oh yeah, it's so expensive now. What happened when you could just go to Claire's for like $35?
Oh, you can. It's so expensive, and even Claire's is expensive.
Oh, it is.
You got a gun too, didn't you?
Yeah,
ear piercing gun. Let me be clear.
Yeah,
ear piercing.
Yeah. The only gun I own.
Yeah, seriously. Not that I'm against guns. I'm just saying.
A glue gun.
I know. You got a glue gun.
Okay, so I'm sure there are things with other parenting. Ours too was like, mom didn't ever let us go to dances, and we definitely started letting. And so that was like in my thoughts parenting, and then when my kids got in even like middle, high school, we let our kids go to more like dances. And stuff like
but
that.
I don't think that, again, I think some of that was like a trust factor. Well, not that Mom and Dad didn't have any reason to trust us, but
also that's very cultural around here. Cultural.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I do think that, like, again, we grew up in a southern area, a little bit more conservative, a lot more conservative. So all of that worked. I'm not saying, whatever. That is something I did change my mind on. I for sure didn't think I would let my kids go to dances.
Yeah.
Also a party bus. I am highly against a party bus, but I let the boys do a party bus with their youth group friends because of the circumstances. But I was extremely clear that this is only because I know exactly these kids and who you've been hanging out with. But I am not saying yes to party buses across the board.
Yes.
That is something I changed my mind on.
Idea, sometimes bad.
Some of that might be because I've seen that go south.
Exactly.
So yeah. But yeah, those are things, I just think it's real easy to like have these ideas that like, oh my gosh, this has nothing to do with changing your mind. But this is another example. We had a conversation at a baby shower not too long ago. And these girls in there who only have little kids were like freaking out about lice.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And how it should be illegal to send a kid somewhere with lice. Was exactly the quote. No offense if that person's listening. I love you to pieces. And then I had to come in and say.
And you had older kids than all of them. They all have little
all
kids.
of them have like preschoolers and babies. Yes. They have no clue what they're talking about. And
they were like coming down hard on the
They were coming down hard, and I came in and said, I have to tell y'all that Abby Kate had lice for a whole entire year.
Oh my gosh.
And
I think Grayson probably had it for a year too. Like somebody in his class.
And Lawson had it.
Oh yeah.
If I was to not send my kids to school or any activity because they had lice, literally she would have been out of school for a year. I did everything known to man to get this out of her head. I have had to treat her for lice since then. Mm-hmm. The girl has, for whatever reason, it's just been attracted to her head.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm sorry. I know y'all think that's disgusting and gross and how dare you and you can judge. But one, I'm the mom who would never tell the school that my kid had lice because of you. Because lice is not just for the dirty or whatever you think.
No. Yeah.
And even if it is, like, it just doesn't matter. Like, it's not what you think it is. It's so hard to get out of someone's hair.
It is.
It's so hard. Yeah. I have paid somebody twice now so much money to treat my kid's hair because I've done.
And have you ever
everything.
been to a school lunchroom? Those kids sit like on top of each other. Their heads are touching. They're so close together all the time. I'm like, of course they have lice.
And if you're one of the lucky ones who has not had a kid with lice, then good for you. That has not been the case for us. And
it's not fun. It's terrible.
And you know what else is interesting is like I haven't even had lice pass around my family. Like it's been mostly Abby Kate. Yes. Like, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
We for sure were like, Grayson is a friend with someone that has lice because we cannot get rid of this. And no one in our family would get it. Yes. When he had it, but I was like, what is happening?
I know.
Like this can be, that's the only thing we could remember.
And you quit telling me.
We could think of.
You don't even tell people. Like you're like, I'm not telling anybody. So anyways, the lice isn't about change your mind, but it is something that it's just.
Lindsay's like, use some grace.
I'm like, you can observe, but you cannot judge because that is the truth. Yeah. So
another thing I was thinking was like fashion stuff. Like I do like fashion and there's certain trends that have come out that I'm like, I will never. I actually said that on our podcast not too long ago about a fashion thing.
have already changed my mind since that podcast.
What was it about? Which one?
Barrel jeans.
Oh.
I have a pair of barrel jeans.
Did you say you wouldn't wear barrel jeans?
I said they're not for me.
They're not for you.
Derek,
Yeah.
it's my favorite pair of jeans that I have.
Yeah, they're so cute.
He
I know
loves
exactly
them
which one you're
on
talking
me.
about.
So I'm like, barrel jeans changed my mind on.
Yeah.
And yellow, kind of.
Yeah.
There are some cute yellows.
Yes.
But I don't know if I've even dove and bought it.
I did not think that I would like ballet flats. I love them on other people. So a lot of fashion stuff, I'm like, that's so cute on someone else, but not for me.
But you haven't changed your mind on
Loafers. Tried. I bought a pair.
I know.
I kept them for like 3 days. Would put them on with different outfits.
You look like
Send them back. Send them back.
It's true. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I look a little manly in them. True. So, do you have loafers?
I have a pair. I don't know if you. Are they?
I don't think those are loafers.
Yeah, they're not the
I
kind
think
you're
those are like
talking
mules.
about. Yes.
I don't think those are loafers.
Yeah, they maybe just look like a 75-year-old
And I'm telling
teacher.
you, I've seen them on so many girls
So
I
cute.
work with. They're so
cute. I can't pull them.
And I just sent those suckers back.
No,
I'm
I
like,
can't.
this is not going to work.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
So I
So,
don't know.
yes,
Maybe
there's
we'll
a
change our
fashion
mind
stuff.
on that. Yeah. GLP-1 shot.
Did you say never?
I don't think I've ever said never, but I think that when I first heard about it, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Which I heard about a few years ago, like a little bit
right.
before it was like big.
A big thing, yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, that is crazy. I mean, I've never even heard of this. What the heck?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who would do that? Da, da, da. And then now, like, I'm kind of like not against the GLP-1 at all.
No, me neither. I don't think there's been any type of like diet, exercise, whatever program that I've never been no way about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly.
Or tried it at least.
Oh, tried it.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm never going to do that.
I do think like you have to be so careful about like my mom, growing up was on diet pills. Those I think really screw up your metabolism.
But that's so different
That's
than the GLP-1.
so different than GLP-1.
Yeah.
So like I am not against the GLP-1 shot. I am not on it currently, but I'm not saying if I can talk my doctor into getting it, I won't go that
I agree.
route.
I think
It does
I think
not. I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Some of y'all are probably like, oh my gosh, it's terrible for you. But maybe you're super skinny and think that. But it's a lot easier to think that when you're super thin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
or you haven't hit
menopause.
your 40s,
I haven't hit menopause either. But yeah.
A little bit harder for the weight to come
lose
off.
the weight. They talk about the belly when you're 40s.
Belly fat.
Belly fat.
So true.
So anyways, that to me is not like a never thing, but it definitely was like a what?
Yeah, for sure.
And then I got a dog.
Yes.
That's a big one.
Yes.
Our family is not big animal people at all. And I still love my own dog. I don't just like love other people's dogs. So I wouldn't call myself an animal person.
I agree. You love Tua. You're so glad that you'll have him.
Yes.
But you're not like just when you see an animal like running up to it.
No.
Yeah.
No. And honestly, I've been really against getting a second dog. Like highly against it. And but I can tell my kids want a second dog so bad. I can tell Derek has such a heart for our dog.
Yeah.
And he just talks about other dogs. And I just decided just this last week that okay, I started calculating it and I was like, here's the deal. If we're going to get another dog, we have to get it now or within the next year.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I have Abby Kate's 12 and I have like 6 more years of her living at home.
I agree.
And if I'm not waiting 6 years to get a dog. My
Yeah.
point being is, so if we're going to get one now,
Yeah, like
second
all your
one
kids
now,
are gone and you guys have Tua and the
puppy.
other dog.
Yeah, I'm not doing
Everybody-
that.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And so I pretty much told Derek, if we're going to get another dog, we need to get one sooner than later because I don't want to wait and then all my kids are gone. And then, so anyways, I don't know. But if we do get another dog.
I'm the same about the dog situation. I have been adamantly against it. Sam begged for a dog. Begged for years and years and years. I'm like, no, you can get a dog when you're in college. You get a dog. Well, you know what? Sam is in college. Marion is about to have a baby. Do you think he has a dog? No.
And he
does not.
He does not need to get a dog.
He does not need a dog. Okay. And so I've been like, Jeremy and I both. We didn't have pets growing up. I've always had so many kids. I'm like, this is my tagline is I don't want to have to take care of another living, breathing thing. You know what I mean? Because you're like keeping 5 people alive. And but now that it's just Ella at home, and Ella, when I say that she's obsessed and loves Lindsay's dog like it's her own, there's so many pictures in her phone of Tua. I told Lindsay, I said, if Tua ever goes missing, I'm pretty sure he's going to be over here.
Yeah.
Ella stole him. I mean, she loves him. And Ella's just like by herself, and she's gone through some tough things a little bit. And Lindsay's the one that brought this up probably like
2 years ago.
Yeah, a long time ago.
I really have told Ashley that I think Ella would love a dog. I think it would be just good for her.
Yes, and I agree. I agree it would. And just like recently when Lindsay was thinking about getting her second dog, like yesterday.
Literally.
Jeremy and I started talking about it, and we're still on the fence. Like, we don't know, but we're considering it more now than we ever have.
Oh, let me just say, the fact that Ashley didn't shut me down right then when I texted her about a dog, I'm shocked in itself. So they've come a long way.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. I wasn't a dog person, still not a dog person, love my dog, but I've seen what my dog has done for my kids, and yes, it can be annoying sometimes. We have two is very good, but it can be annoying just with animal stuff in general. But my kids adore him like they did. Like, some people are like, oh, your kids outgrow that. No, my kids have not. Literally, up to Parker, are obsessed with Tua as if he just came home, and he's been home like 7 years, or 6 years. Like, it's nuts. And I'm like, no, my kids haven't changed at all. Like, they love him.
Yes.
And so, I don't know. I just have been telling Ashley, I think that a dog would be really good for Ella.
Yeah.
If this tells you anything, for her birthday this year, she's 15. I just bought her a giant teddy bear. Mm-hmm. This is her request. One of her top things. Okay, the girl loves makeup, jewelry, all the things. She wants a giant teddy bear because she can put it in her room and talk to it and be all, not because she's like, like a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
She needs a companion.
Yes, it's probably true.
She needs a companion. Yes. And I just bought her a teddy bear to be the companion.
I know. So we might come on here one day and I'm like, we did it.
We might get puppy brothers.
Yeah.
But if you want to contribute to our GoFund.
Go fund our dog.
The problem is that the type of dogs that our families can have to be hypoallergenic. Yeah. So they can't shed, they can't make a sneeze, and so that means they're called designer breed, which a lot of you guys probably have.
Yeah.
And so they're expensive. But whatever. Yeah. It is what it is. But
okay, well,
I think that's all. I mean,
I feel like those are a lot of confessions, even though you're about to do confession of the week.
I'm about to do confession of the week.
But I feel like we're going to think of more things that we change our mind on. So maybe we'll sprinkle those in over the next couple episodes.
We will. Maybe we could throw them in our confessions of the week.
Yeah. Okay, so it's Lindsay's turn.
So my confession of the week, number one was going to be that I tried to talk Ashley and Jeremy to get a dog yesterday, but whatever. Ashley stole it. So there was my number one confession of the week, but that's fine because it's not that bad. But my other confession of the week, I would have to say, is when you are iced in, you just eat so bad. Literally, we went to Trader Joe's. Guys, we didn't eat anything. We got so many dips. So many dips. So many treats.
Yeah.
Like cookies, and Derek's gluten-free. So, like, Trader Joe's is, like, the best for, like, gluten-free treats. Oh, my gosh. We came back with, like, candy and cookies as if we're getting any exercise.
Right.
And it is so bad that even yesterday, because Micah has been on this weight loss journey, I say, because he lost like 30-something pounds this summer.
That's great. Yeah.
And then he went off of it during Christmas, and he's got back on it. And he's trying to be all like working out during the ice storm because we have a workout room. He's eating good for him. He comes in, he's like, what is all this? And Ava Mae goes, we're just having a little treat day. We're having a little cheat day today. And I was like, Ava Mae summed it up.
Yes.
I was like, so my confession of the week is I've been off my eating regimen so bad. Yeah. And I'm like,
I don't think you're alone, first of all. I think that's like when you're stuck in your house, what else are you supposed to do?
No, for sure.
It's much harder to be at home and be like that than like doing other things, being out and about and not have to think about
There's nothing else to do.
Yeah, Jeremy, who's pretty strict about his diet, I would say, I'm pretty sure last night he ate like 4 biscuits.
Oh.
I've never seen him do that. I was like, I kept looking over, I'm like, does he know he's on like his 4th biscuit?
You're not judging. You're just observing. Yeah.
But I was like, but it's true.
Oh, it is. It's real. Ben Shanahan, Texas, who's our locations pastor, texted me and Derek and his wife were in a group text and was like, what is it about being iced in that you just eat way over your calories? I mean, he like sent us like his like calorie thing and it was like way over.
And if you don't, good for you.
I'm
happy for you.
You know what? That's just, You're the people who probably don't change your mind.
That's right. That's right. You probably don't even need this entire episode.
You probably feel so good about yourself.
Yes.
And go you.
Yes.
But you know what? Majority of us are not on that regiment during an iced-in, unexpected
Yes.
iced-in storm or whatever you want to say. I mean, I'm looking outside and it's covered in white.
Yeah.
I don't even like to say snow because it's not snow.
It's like ice and then like sleet on top. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So anyways,
Yes.
I hope you all enjoyed it. Hope we made you feel better about yourselves. That's what I like to say about our podcast episodes. We want you to make you feel better, but you only can observe.
Yeah. Just observe.
You cannot judge.
Us changing our mind.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, have a
See you
great
next
week.
week.
We'll see you next week. Bye.